Hey everybody, it's Derek with the Swarm here. Bringing you a video. I'm not sure what we're going to be calling this series, but we had the opportunity to show one. It's going to be kind of like clean up, you know, what it takes to clean up Town Hall 10 and such. Town Hall 10, Town Hall 11. So we'll take a look. The base we're going to take a look at is this number 19. You can see it took 8 hits there. So let you take a look at the base itself, give you a chance to take a look at it. We'll go ahead and start with a couple of these attacks. There's quite a few. We won't be looking at all of them, and since there's 8 of them, we'll be just kind of looking at parts where information was gained, things were tested, kind of realizations happen. So the first thought, we'll see Bass coming in here, is to come get those 2 ADs next to the Queen and King. With the King, some Valks, a Jump and a Rage, and then to Queen Walk up the top. On this one, the goal is to wall break in about that Wizard Tower. So as we'll see, we'll watch this full raid because this we'll skip through a lot of the Lalo parts when things aren't changing. Some of these other attacks. The Bass is coming here and doing an awesome job. You can see wall breakers all kind of die, but there were some bombs there that kind of hurt that. So we decided, so it wasn't a like giving us information to say totally scrap this already. It goes ahead with the King. You can see with just those Kings and a couple Valks, it does get that whole like 2 compartments taken out, and that's with the level 27 King. So very, very good. And then this is where the Lalo gets built off. We'll go ahead and speed through this, but basically a lot of them are going to look like this. We'll take a look at certain ones, and the Lalo look not terrible. Certainly something you could build off of and kind of go from there. The goal is that the King would, or the Queen would have broken into these compartment, gotten the Inferno Tower and such. So there's some of that. So we won't finish that cleanup. We'll go ahead into the first Town Hall 10 raid on it, and that was by Kieran. Coming in here on Zin. You can see just 3 Valks. Everything's kind of going to start the same with this opener. We won't go too deep into this one because you'll see why here in just a minute. The King kind of walks. So the funnel goes down, but we'll go ahead and look at this important information, and that's really going to be involved with the Queen walk. So as everything's coming in here, the Queen's taking a ton of damage, and the wall breakers just don't get it done. And even had to burn the Queen's ability, and it wasn't even because the ability was burned. And then the next part on why we'll kind of take a look is the King walks the other way, doesn't go in, so the Queen's up. So this attack is not going to go well. So we'll go ahead, and that's kind of. So what was really learned there is that the Queen and that wall break into that compartment is just not going to be successful. It's too difficult. It wasn't able to get done. So you'll see this nice change here with Brady. The King walk into just kind of with 3 ADs up. The Lalo's just not built for that. It wasn't really going to give any information or add any kind of value to this. But this one is kind of the plan we started building off of. So the Queen is wanting to walk down in with the kill squad here. That baby drag's getting tons of value, clearing all that trash. Everything's kind of moving in. From here, the King, Queen, 2 ADs, bomb towers and such all go down. And we'll kind of speed through this because it is just kind of watching the Queen take care of that. There was that other wall break. I believe we wanted the Queen to go down here. It makes sense because of the baby dragon, but he had all those extra wall breakers, so I'm not exactly sure. The Queen goes ahead, clears out some buildings. She'll go step up into Inferno Tower range. Go ahead and pop her ability and get quite a bit. I mean, almost takes out the Inferno Tower. We'll take a look at the Lalo here because this is really, some of these we'll skip through the Lalos. But you kind of see a theme as to where things kind of go and peter out. So this had just that one hound, quite a few loons, But as everything's kind of gets up here to this top area, it just kind of dies out. You can see the loons, I mean, I'm speeding through it, but the loons just obliterated. The spell placement wasn't great, definitely needed that heal earlier. But that's kind of, you know, you'd see most of this base left up still, a lot of defenses, and kind of just what's going on. That's what got built on for a little bit here, so we'll take a look at the next hit. Was Joel coming in, and this had a nice change. So the queen didn't get the Inferno Tower, so instead we're going to walk into a different box. The king comes down with those Valks. The queen's going to now walk, up top. She's going to pop over, open everything, rage up these healers, and then raging these wall breakers to open up the compartment there to allow the Inferno Tower to go down. So the queen goes in there. The king has taken out a bunch of, taken out all those those three sections. Inferno Tower's down, and then from here the queen just steps into too much point defense. But that's really it. The Lalo kind of goes on the same. We'll kind of quickly, just while I'm discussing this, it's going to peter out here, but the queen walk and all that kind of got the most value, and you could just see it's really just not getting enough. Too much defenses left, everything that's going on. And then here, the next one up, we kind of came to the realization that's not going to work. The entry's just kind of too flaky, and just not getting enough value. So what Max comes in and does is just doing a naked queen walk, and really just setting this funnel, getting the Teslas that are in that box, and moving on up. So the rage comes down, everything's looking super good. Clearing out king, clearing out all the normal compartments. The queen's moving right along, taking care of that kind of top side, getting some of the value, clearing out some of the defenses. King will go on, take out the air defense. That's really kind of the last thing that's needed. He does go down here. From here, kind of a similar story, but this is really the entry. The hounds go in, die, and then the loons get here and just, oops, kind of just get obliterated in this death area. The back end loons do come in and take out that sweeper, which really helps bring this a lot closer. But as you can see, two high value defenses, the Expo and the Archer Tower, are still up, but just not enough to get it done. The other attack, we won't show one of the attacks here. This kind of just built on the same, but didn't really add anything new. Felt then, so right here, Area, I don't know. Coming this time, as opposed to just like the one hound, there's two hounds, there's more loons, the 30 loons, and everything's kind of the same with this entry. As we can see, everything's going on. We'll quickly get through that. Gets king, queen, all the good stuff that we want to get. And then here's where the difference is. The hounds are coming in from across the base, soaking up all these traps, and kind of collapsing that right side. And you can see the hounds tanking just a little bit, soaking up all those traps and getting rid of them. Really, really helps. Unfortunately, the hounds pop right in range of that Inferno Tower, so all the pups die. And that ends up becoming an issue because of what will happen here, and that's just that there's enough loons. They get everything down, but even with just a minute 17, this much of the base left, there's not enough time. But at this point, everything's kind of set. This is the time we know all the defenses have gone down. They were down very, very quickly. Just about half the raid time, so able to get done. The little pups popping up do kind of just I guess like a kick to the gut, and just being close. And so the final one here, PB coming in, cleaning it up finally on this one. It was very, very nice to get that taken care of. So everything we're used to seeing on this entry. we'll get to the small changes that were made. It's kind of just, you know, when you're taking a look at these, it's really small changes. Sometimes it's hard to gain valuable information, I guess, because things maybe don't go according to plan. They get kind of close. You think, you know, little small changes might be able to get a lot more value. So it did kind of take quite a bit of work for us to get this one, but it was really satisfying to see it go down. So as here comes the first hound, kind of that similar trajectory, just taking out a bunch of the defenses, but the loons are in a lot quicker this time, so the damage on the hounds is much less severe, and more importantly than that, the loons are already just collapsing all the defenses as the hounds kind of get around and are tanking. So it didn't have them way out in front. As the loons all come in, destroy everything, there's some pups up. There is that, you know, pups on the town, but a bunch of minions now working that. 45 seconds left, just going around destroying this base, just really killing it. Great attack from TB here. But as you can see, one of the reasons I kind of want to get into showing this is it's really interesting to see, I think, the thought process of a clan and kind of how they develop their attacks. The other big advantage is you see these attacks on recaps and think like people who are new are kind of getting exposed to clans be like, man, these guys are crazy, but really it takes this much work with everybody in the clan kind of doing it. But great job. We'll bring some more of these kind of as we go on. So until next time, guys, see you later. Yeah.